So, Loeb returns home knowing title number 9 is within his grasp. Teammate Mikko Hirvonen is his closest rival, but the Finn must score at least 5 points more than the champion to deny Loeb this weekend. It would take an even bigger turnaround to stop Citroën landing the title once again. With a lead of 111 points over Ford coming into this round, the French marque's odds-on to retain the manufacturer's championship. Loeb and his team oozing confidence then, stemming in part from home advantage. The stunning backdrop of the Alsace countryside, tailor-made for the championship leader. Cheered on by legions of his local fans, Sebastian's made a habit of dominating on tarmac over the last decade, and these French roads take some taming.
Most of the stages are really high speed, and some of them are really tricky with all the cuts, broken tarmac, and it's a bit bumpy in places, so there's a bit everything, so you know, it's really challenging.
You have still different combinations of mountain roads, driving on the fields and vineyards, and also different kind of surfaces.
Yeah, the stages are very different. Roads up to the mountain and back down again, so really tricky, but very nice.
The Rally de France Alsace is based as ever in the stunning medieval city of Strasbourg, close to the German border, with the bulk of the event taking place between the Vosges Mountains to the west and the Black Forest to the east. The opening leg begins with a new street stage in the city of Strasbourg itself, with the first full day heading deep into the Vosges Mountains for a mixture of forest and vineyard stages. Before all that, the opening ceremony itself in Strasbourg's historic town centre, and an opportunity for the French fans to welcome home their favourite son. A bit of a change to the schedule for 2013, with the ceremonial start taking place in front of the European Parliament building. A huge roar of welcome for Loeb there. And there is a new stage to follow in the surrounding streets. The WRC coming right into the heart of Strasbourg for a tight 3.5 kilometre stage. With the light fading, it was young asphalt ace Thierry Neuville who makes the best start to the Rally de France Alsace. Citroën's Belgian start setting the early pace. We know Latvala has tarmac form, but even he can't quite match Neuville. The Finn 8/10 slower. And with local star Loeb plunging into the tight circuit in complete darkness, unsurprisingly it's a steady start for the championship leader. Sebastian, 7th fastest through this short sprint. It's the following morning when the rally proper gets underway. Championship leader Loeb is the first car out, followed by his teammate Hirvonen and Petter Solberg, the first of the Fords. And with the roads drying after recent rain, tyre choice is something of a lottery as we move down to the first proper test. At 29 kilometres long, Hollandsberg First Plan is the longest stage of the opening leg. A tense weekend ahead then for the championship leader. Loeb has opted to use 4 hard compound Michelins in this opening morning. The odds are vastly in the favour of Sebastian, securing his 9th world title this weekend. But there are some tricky stages to negotiate on Loeb's home event. It is looking mainly dry out there, so those hard tyres certainly seem to have been the correct choice through here. Stage 2 is cleared. Let's find out if Seb is happy with that tyre choice.
It was okay. I tried to push, but the conditions were quite dry, not too tricky, so I think the tyre choice was good. No problem at all at the moment.
Well, Loeb certainly seems satisfied with his tyre tactics. Hirvonen, like Loeb, is using hard compound rubber. We saw the Finn struggle to get to grips with the DS3 on his first full tarmac round for Citroën in Germany. So Mikko's progress will be watched with interest as he seeks to help his team secure the manufacturer's title. Back on the start line, the first of the works Ford's Petter Solberg. The Norwegian note running on soft compound Michelin tyres. Ford going the opposite way to their main rivals. Tactics clearly going to play a big part again this weekend. Emulating his teammate, Hirvonen 2 has shown really impressive speed, clearly getting to grips with the DS3 on asphalt. Loeb did a 14:36.1, and that's a great effort from Mikko too. So have the Fords made a bad call here, running on the soft compound? There are still 2 more stages to come in this loop where conditions may be more damp, but for now it's just too dry. Solberg's soft Michelins will be going off towards the stage finish. Let's take a look at his time. Yes, Petter, 12.5 seconds down on Loeb.
Yeah, it was soft, you know, and yeah, we'll see on the next one. I hope it should be better there, you know, but here it was not easy, and I tried to back off a little bit to try to take care of the tire, but then I lost just so much time, so we just have to continue, you know, not think so much about it.
Jari-Matti Latvala, like his teammate Solberg, is running on softs. Let's take a look at Jari's time. That is 7.5 down on Loeb. Not a bad effort on the soft tyres. Here's our leader from the opening Strasbourg stage. Thierry Neuville is a proven talent on asphalt, but Citroën's young star has also opted for the soft compound tyres. And with the DS3 sliding around towards the stage finish, he drops 15 seconds to Loeb and falls from 1st to 6th. Danny Sordo was fighting for victory here last year in the Mini, and he has engine and gearbox upgrades in France. The distinctive sound of the John Cooper Works twin exhaust there. Like the Works Citroëns, he's on Michelin's hard compound tyres, and he's up to 4th. Normal service has been resumed. Loeb is into the lead, and it's a Citroën 1-2 after that terrific run by Hirvonen. Latvala is the first of the Fords, Sordo in 4th, and Neuville falling down to 6th. In a moment, as Sébastien Loeb takes a step closer to his 9th world title, the all-conquering Frenchman reflects on life after the WRC.
We had some big slide in the middle of the forest at 180 km/h. We don't have this sensation anywhere else.
And the future looks bright as another team announces its return.
Yeah, it's great news for the championship to get a new manufacturer in.
The Rallye de France Alsace, a breathtaking backdrop for what could be Sébastien Loeb's latest moment of triumph. The home hero is already into the first run through the spectacular Vallée de Munster stage and has now opted to run 2 soft tyres on the rear of that Citroën coming into these stages in anticipation of damp patches underneath the trees and up here in the Vosges Mountains. And it is working for Seb. He's quickest through so far. Here comes his teammate Mikko Hirvonen. And the Finn has chosen to stay on all hard, so he will be struggling for grip through the damp sections. That DS3 really moving around underneath him, and that's going to be costing him time through here. And Jari-Matti Latvala has capitalised on his compatriot's problems. The Rally GB winner has passed Hirvonen for 2nd place in stage 3, and now into 4. The split times are showing Jari-Matti is quicker than Loeb. An incredible flat-out downhill section coming towards the end of the stage. Watch the clock. Loeb did a 9:49.3. Latvala is on it. Whoa, no, just 1 tenth quicker, but that is enough for his first stage win of the weekend. While one of the factory Fords is flying, Petter Solberg has been struggling in his Fiesta. The Norwegian has made some setup changes coming into this Solzair Pay Welsh stage, and it looks like he's gone in the right direction. A much more stable looking Fiesta, and Petter is 3rd quickest through.
Half long, tightens a little, and Sinclair minus extra.
5th place, Thierry Neuville, meanwhile, is back on the pace. In the damper conditions, those soft tyres are now working well for the Belgian. He's already passed Solberg for 5th, and now reeling in Danny Sordo. Running directly behind Neuville on the road is Danny, and his Mini John Cooper Works really benefiting from its heavy engine and gearbox upgrades. Danny struggles a little in stage 4 though, and slips down to 5th behind Thierry. So as we reach the midway point on this opening day here in Alsace, Thierry Neuville is the man on the move, now just 1.5 seconds behind Hirvonen. Out front though, Sebastian Loeb heading relentlessly towards that 9th and what would now appear to be last world title. Sebastian is arguably the greatest rally driver of all time. His decision to step off at the end of the season coming as something as a surprise to those who assumed he would go on to pursue a 10th title. Why then has he decided to stop at 9?
Because I want to change. I want to try something different, and for sure I'm still in the fight for the title again this year, and I think I'm not too old and I'm still competitive, but on another way. If I want to find a new challenge or something different, it's also important to do it before you are too old to be competitive.
And Loeb, of course, has always relished a new challenge, from testing an F1 car to impressing at Le Mans. His next adventure to compete in the World Touring Car Championship. Citroën working on development next season with a view to a full-blown campaign the following year.
The goal is to go to WTCC with Citroën in 2014-15. Yeah, for me it's for sure very, very different from the rally. And so for me it's a new challenge to understand how it goes, to try to fight for I don't know if I will be able to fight for a victory, but to improve, and so I have a lot of things to learn, and that makes it interesting.
But it's not the last we've seen of Loeb in the WRC. He's planning 6 rallies next year, easing his way out of a sport in which he's won almost half the rallies he's competed, ripping up the record books on his way to 74 wins.
For sure it's a great success, like you say. I didn't know the statistic, but it's nearly half of the rallies, so why? I don't know. It's just the passion. It's just the passion of driving also, and the passion of the competition, the fight. I never had to make something special to concentrate and to prepare the rallies. I think it's coming naturally, and I always just give my best, and that's it. So I don't have any secret. I just enjoy what I do, and when I enjoy it, I try to do it at 100%.
And while Loeb contemplates the switch to circuit racing, one thing's for sure, he's left an indelible mark on world rallying, and the sport has done likewise to him.
I know that the driving feeling I will have in racing will not be as exciting as what you can do in rally, and because we have to have some big slide in the middle of the forest at 180 km/h, you don't have this sensation anywhere else. So, but okay, I'm doing it since 10 years now. Having some new sensation will also be good.
More from Seb later. With the Frenchman at the beginning of the end of an incredible rally career, he will relish every moment of these final scraps on the stages. And with Loeb again leading the way in France, let's rejoin the action. So far so good then for the WRC's living legend at his home event. As expected, all crews using hard compound Michelin tyres in the drier afternoon, so an even playing field from that side. Sebastian's incredible asphalt car control again on display in front of legions of Loeb fans as he seeks to defend that slender 7.5 second advantage. Joining second place, Jari-Matti Latvala now. And it's been another terrific tarmac getaway from the Flying Finn so far. An incredible view above the vineyards here.
Älä tolppa kaidessa on raha lopussa, pitkä. 20, oikein 5, älä.
Oh, but a big slide and off the road. Just caught out by a patch of gravel. A lucky escape, and clearly that's not going to help his pursuit of the rally leader. Jari-Matti drops 6 seconds to Loeb in here.
Left-handers, which was gravel on the road. I tried to get the line, and
tried to stay away from the cut, but there was so much gravel on the road that I went out and I went to the ditch, and I was for a while in the ditch, so I lost some time over there.
Thierry Neuville was the man on the move in the morning loop. Can he maintain that searing pace into the afternoon?
En droite 30 moins, vraiment très très dur, léger sale et ouvre 5. Sur gauche 25, très dur corps.
Oh, and a big spin for the Belgian. Lucky escape too for Thierry. He's back in the right direction eventually, but that could have been a costly error because Danny Sordo is hot on his heels back in the stage in that fight for fifth, and Neuville slips back behind the Spaniard on the leaderboard. Back to the fight at the front in stage 6, and as we saw at times in Germany, Latvala is now a real threat to Loeb on asphalt. Despite that scare on the gravel in stage 5, when the road is clear, the Finn is breathtakingly quick. It's another stage win in Valley de Munster to close the gap on the leader. Loeb being kept on his toes then, the gap between first and second down to 12.4 seconds, and further back Solberg's been on the move, the Norwegian back up to 4th, with Neuville slipping to 6th after that spin. As the 2012 season draws to a close, attention is already turning to next year, with news that Hyundai are returning to the championship, unveiling the i20 WRC at last month's Paris Motor Show. Hyundai hoping to make a few outings next year ahead of a full campaign in 2014.
Yeah, it's great news for the championship to get a new manufacturer in, and within this new structure, so we shall be more proactive also. So we have ongoing negotiations with Hyundai, and I'm very confident that we can see them participating with full program 2014.
News of Hyundai's return comes, of course, on the back of Volkswagen joining the WRC next season. VW and Sébastien Ogier busy testing this year with some expert help from double world champion Carlos Sainz. So after a tough few years, the road ahead appears to look brighter for the WRC with cautious optimism.
Well, of course, we have to remember now that the next 2 years they shall be really challenges, because we all know the financial atmosphere especially in Europe, and I believe it's gonna get a little bit worse. But still we're gonna survive. But I think the elements are there. So now we have to be just careful to make the right decisions and get this championship growing.
Just 2 stages remain on day 1. First up, the 20 kilometres of Sulzeren. And fantastic shots from our helicopter as Loeb charges across the French hillsides, still on course for his record-breaking 9th consecutive world title. Pace notes rattled off from his ever-present co-pilot Daniel Elena. And it has so far been an imperious drive from the world champion. He clears stage 7 safely.
Gauche 140 moins millions, corps de rail gras.
The leading factory Ford, Jari-Matti Latvala, has been the only man seemingly able to take the fight to Loeb so far this weekend. It is incredibly tight in the forest here, and still blisteringly quick. But this stage is becoming increasingly slippery as more cars pass through, pulling the gravel out onto the road. Jari just can't find the confidence to push.
Yeah, immediately if there is a dirty places in the States, I'm not doing well. That's my problem, and it seems that I'm struggling when there is mud on the road or something like that. When it's clean, it's fine, but this is the area which I can't do well.
Meanwhile, further back, Evgeny Novikov has had a consistent day in the French countryside. The Russian's crash-happy form now a thing of the past.
And left zero light short, 13 000 gas.
Tarmac, not his favoured surface, but he is happily running in 9th for now. And this new partnership with Ilkka Minor continuing to look strong.
Left 1 gas. And left zero short, right zero, and 12 short middle gas.
The opening leg is concluded with another street stage, the Mulhouse test, again bringing the WRC right to the French fans' doorsteps. And you can guess who they've all come to see. This tight blast through the roads of Loeb's home region, something of a lap of honour after what's been another dominating performance on the French asphalt. More of a tight circuit feel to this short sprint stage, so Sebastian perhaps getting in some touring car practice a couple of years ahead of schedule. The day is concluded with his lead intact.
Yeah, it has been a good day, so no problem at all. We've done the right tire choices. We've done everything quite good. So hard push, big push all the day, big attack, and Jari-Matti is pushing very hard. But at the moment we are leading, so we'll see tomorrow.
A good day for Loeb, and it's been a strong day too for the man who could one day step into his shoes. Citroën's Thierry Neuville, as expected, excelling on the Alsace asphalt. Whoa, but that's a frustrating finish for the young Belgian. He's clearly quick, but that is his second big error on the opening leg.
50, droite 55 épingles, droite 55 épingles.
There is confirmation of Loeb's lead at the end of the day. He's 13.1 seconds ahead of Latvala, who claimed the fastest time in Mulhouse. Mikko Hirvonen lies third, ahead of Petter Solberg. So it's advantage Sebastian Loeb on Friday evening. Can anyone stop the imperious Frenchman landing that 9th title? Not like this, they won't. Hold on tight. The sparks are about to fly literally as Petter takes in more of the local scenery than he bargained for. That's next. Welcome back to the Rallye de France Alsace, where the longest day is about to get underway, and local star Sebastian Loeb remains the man in control as he seeks to secure his 9th world title. The second day here in Alsace takes in 8 stages with a total competitive distance of 192 kilometres, including 2 runs through the monster 43-kilometre Pays d'Ormont. Our first challenge this morning, though, a technical narrow blast through Massif de Grande Crue. 18 kilometres ahead in here for the WRC crews, who are again led away by champion-elect Sebastian Loeb. With a 13-second lead, the Citroën star remains in the driving seat for the rally win, but a really tricky start to the day here. It is incredibly bumpy and narrow through the vineyards, and absolutely no margin for error. Next into action, Ford's Jari-Matti Latvala. It was another breathtaking turn of speed from the 27-year-old on the opening leg. His asphalt pace is now a real threat to Loeb, the man who's dominated tarmac rallies for the last decade. Latvala's compatriot Mikko Hirvonen has been much improved since his last tarmac outing in Germany. The Finn begins the second morning just 0.7 of a second ahead of Petter Solberg, so that fight for third is one to watch. And here is Solberg now. Oh, but he's wide and off into the vineyards. I think he's completely lost his bearing, straight across and back into the vines and into a pole. He's actually knocked it down, and clearly that was an electricity pylon. Dramatic scenes here in stage 9. Petter doing his best to get going, but that was a massive impact. What on earth was going on there? Here's the initial incident again. Straight off into the vines. And Petter, completely unsighted, slams into that electricity pole. A crazy start to the second day. Thankfully, no such dramas so far for the rally leader.
court vraiment pas confortable.
There are some technical sections through villages in here too. Lobes fans using every available vantage point.
Et gauche vraiment pas corde.
And that is another stage cleared for Loeb and Daniel Elena. Let's have a word with Seb down at the stop control.
It's okay, it's very difficult, this stage in the molding like this with some very fast section, very narrow and bumpy at the end in the forest. I don't like the end of this stage, so I don't know. I had a good start, but at the end I don't know. So we'll see Jari this time.
Loeb safely through, which is more than can be said for Petter Solberg, the frustrated Norwegian, leaving his co-driver to explain what went wrong.
Unfortunately, we were pushing quite hard and we have just slid a tiny bit too wide on this corner here and we've went into the vineyard. We tried to find our way out and with the vines all over the front of the windscreen, we just did not see the road and we've come a wee bit too far across the road and hit the telegraph wire, so our rally is over for today.
Thankfully, no one hurt in that impromptu excursion through the vineyard. A frightening moment, however you look at it. Loeb extended his lead slightly over Latvala in there, and it's straight into the first running through the Pays d'Ormont stage, the longest of the weekend, an epic 43 kilometres. And this is the man desperately trying to reel in the leader, Jari-Matti Latvala, once again proving his pace on tarmac, and now solely flying the Ford flag, of course, after Solberg's demise. Oh, but he's in trouble too, and clouted that bank. Latvala so lucky to get away with that. Those changeable conditions again catching some out. Well, it is all action so far this morning. Can Mikko Hirvonen have a clean run through here? The Finn has been much closer to his teammates' pace on the French asphalt, and this is another good run for Mikko. If he can keep it clean and tidy, he is going to eat into Jari-Matti's advantage after his compatriot's moment. Incredibly tight and narrow here. Hirvonen still has pedal to the metal. What a breathtaking backdrop we have here on Loeb's home event. And that error by Jari-Matti has really eased the pressure on the rally leader. The gap between first and second now up to more than half a minute. Not that the Frenchman particularly needs to beat Latvala this weekend. Simply finishing ahead of his teammate Hirvonen will be enough to secure his 9th world title. Loeb, being Loeb though, will want to do it in style with another home win. Despite that setback in the previous test though, there is little sign here that Latvala is giving up the fight. Ford's Finnish star absolutely committed as he charges on through the fast-flowing forest roads here in stage 11. Loeb did an 11:16.3, and I think that could be beaten absolutely flat out. What a drive from Jari, and that was seriously quick. An amazing average speed of 128 kilometres an hour. So the fight for the win still alive perhaps. One battle that is definitely on is for fourth between Thierry Neuville and this man Danny Sordo. Just over 3 seconds between them before this stage. With Danny's brake problems from day one resolved, he is pushing hard to hold on. At times this weekend though, his young rival has shown scintillating speed despite his inexperience.
Gauche 5 très long, jusque sommet gauche 27 très dur tenir, jusque sommet gauche 27 très dur tenir, pour droite 45 très très dur, 45 très très dur, sur droite 30 vraiment très très dur.
And you can see he is pushing almost off the road at the hairpin. And let's see what he can do as he approaches the flying finish. Sordo's time, 11:25.4. Neuville could jump ahead here. Yes, just Thierry up to fourth, but only briefly. He probably receives a 20-second penalty for checking in 2 minutes late. With stage 12 cancelled for safety reasons, there is confirmation of Neuville's demotion. But as we reach the halfway point, everything's going to plan for the man who just keeps rewriting the history books. And the Alsace is very much Sebastian Loeb territory, where he grew up, spending his formative years north of Strasbourg at the family home in Haguenau and nearby village of Bischwiller. Fitting venues for the end of Rally France tomorrow afternoon, where the people of Haguenau, young and old, will be waiting to salute the local boy made good.
Yeah, I'm born in Haguenau, where you have this last stage of the rally in the town. I'm born here. Then I grew up in a little village 7 kilometers from here, very close of the first stage of Sunday in Bischwiller. I grew up in the village next to this town, but still I was going to school in Haguenau. My grandmother, all my family was from Haguenau. So I lived all my life until I was maybe 30 years old in this area. Then I moved to Switzerland.
Sébastien! Allez Sébastien Loeb!
I think he doesn't have a real secret, he's just great.
C'est une grande star, hein?
At the local patisserie in Bischwiller, they remember the young Loeb well.
Sébastien Loeb, je connaissais plutôt comme Sébastien, plus jeune.
I remember him when he was younger. We were all riding mopeds and motorbiking in Oberhofen.
À Oberhofen.
That's the Seba I knew.
Sébastien que je connaissais, et non pas Sébastien.
As far as I can recall, he was always trying to make an impression by doing crazy stuff.
Impressionné, chef.
More particularly, I reckon that Bischwiller police must have quite a few memories of him.
Et la police de Bischwiller, on a aussi quelques souvenirs.
Fair to say the boy racer's come a long way since his days, giving the local police the runaround, a hero in his hometown, which also happens to be the scene of his favourite ever win.
For me, one of the, I think the most memorable thing I had in rally was the victory here in France 2 years ago, because it was really an incredible sensation. All along the rally we had a lot of support of all the spectators everywhere, in the villages, everywhere, and even on the road section. And finally to win the rally at the end here in my hometown. I won the rally, the 2 championships, manufacturer championship and driver championship, so it couldn't be much better. And all that in front of all my friends and family was really great.
Sébastien, super cool.
Loeb and Citroën, of course, hoping to repeat that double celebration from 2010 this weekend, but it's looking overcast above the vineyards as the crews head out for the afternoon loop of day 2. Already with a 30-second lead, though, a drop of rain shouldn't unduly concern our rally leader. Loeb remains on course to write another historic chapter to his incredible career. This will be a no-risks approach to the second pass through these stages, with many corners covered in a layer of mud and gravel, especially in these junction-filled vineyard roads. It's the battle for 4th spot that really holds the attention at the moment, though, and having worked hard to claim the position, Thierry Neuville has seen all his efforts undone by that time penalty. The Belgian's fight back is already underway. He's not able to match Osberg, but does beat Sordo in both these stages. Oh, and that is despite continuing to live life on the edge at times. A brief stall there for Thierry and Nicolas Gilzoul after that slide. But what a turnaround we've seen from Mads Osberg on this second day. Seemingly out of sorts after the opening leg, the Norwegian has stealthily improved his pace and crept up the leaderboard, but a mistake there for Mads too. The 3 drivers fighting for 4th, all on the ragged edge. Despite that moment, with a time around 23 minutes and 19 seconds, the Ford privateer could get ahead of Sordo here. Yeah, another great drive from Mads, and he moves up to 4th.
Yeah, it was quite good stage time, but it could have been a lot better. We went off in a hairpin and out in the ditch, so we lost quite a lot, but I'm pushing really hard. We are running.
We're lucky that the wheel is still on. Yeah, I think we're lucky that the wheel is still on the right rear.
With 2 more stages to come on day 2, Latval has trimmed the gap to the leader to within half a minute, but in the fight for 4th, Osberg has passed Sordo, with Neuville striving to get back involved. Let's get straight back into the action. And they have to be cautious through here. The ever-changing grip levels caught some of the drivers out over the first running this morning. So far, though, Mikko Hirvonen has been Mr. Consistent, not able to match Loeb's pace, but he has been one of the best of the rest. Flashing through the French villages, securing another podium finish and the manufacturer's title for Citroën on their home rally is the order of the day now for the Finn. The final action of day 2 is the Clevener test. It was cancelled earlier, so a first glimpse at this tricky 11-kilometre stage for Loeb. The 8 and possibly soon to be 9-time champion, putting in another faultless display through these challenging technical roads. And the final hurdle of the second leg is mercifully cleared. Jari-Matti Latvala may lie almost half a minute adrift of the top spot, but the Finn is a fighter. And while there's little he can do to prevent Loeb's latest coronation, this is all about testing himself against one of the finest asphalt drivers the sport has ever seen. The GB winner finishes the day in style, claiming his 6th stage win of the rally, but only making up 0.6 of a second on the rally leader. Meanwhile, in that enthralling three-way fight for 4th, Mads Østberg has done just enough to stay ahead. The Norwegian with one of the drives of the day on his least favourite surface. But this fight is set to go down to the wire. That battle for 4th is anyone's. Just 8 seconds between Østberg, Sordo and Neuville. And out front, while Latvala will keep on pushing, Loeb has his eyes on the ultimate prize. So the Frenchman stands on the edge of further greatness. Just 1 day, 8 stages, just over 60 kilometres from his 9th world title. We'll be with him all the way as the locals prepare to carve out a special image in his honour. That's next here at the Rallye de France Alsace. Welcome back to the final day of the Rallye de France Alsace as Sébastien Loeb looks to clinch world title number 9 with victory number 75. Loeb, though, not the only driver celebrating a world title this weekend. In the FIA WRC Academy, Welshman Elfyn Evans drove to his 4th successive victory of the season to clinch the Junior Championship here in France. Now in its 2nd year, the WRC Academy has proved a big success again in 2012. 23-year-old Elfyn, son of former British rally champion Gwyndaf Evans, very much the star of the class though, clinching the title alongside co-driver Phil Pugh with 1 round still to come at the season's finale in Spain next month.
Yeah, fantastic. Can't believe it was still 1 round to go. It's been fantastic since Greece. Can't believe it. 4 wins on the trot has been unbelievable.
Evans then a name to watch out for, his ultimate aim to compete in the World Rally Championship. Right now he can celebrate completing the 1st rung of the WRC ladder. His next challenge is likely to be the SWRC next season. Back to the main event, and the final day takes in 6 short stages, all based around Sébastien Loeb's hometown of Haguenau. Just 63 kilometres stands between the Frenchman and his 9th Drivers' Championship. And conditions are absolutely horrendous on this final morning. If Loeb is going to take this title, he's going to have to do it the hard way. And there is the man of the moment down on the start line of stage 17. Just 6 stages to come, but 6 stages that could increase the Frenchman's hold on sporting immortality. What a way to finish the rally, though. Standing water everywhere, and he's wide there. A reminder for the world champion-elect that he's not quite there yet.
It's very tricky. Not only one moment. We lost the car a few times in some narrow sections, so it was a lot of water in the ruts, and we had aquaplaning everywhere.
If he's willing to take some risks in these treacherous conditions, there could be a window of opportunity for Latvala here with nothing to lose. Will we see a last-ditch bid for a first tarmac win from the Finn? Just keeping on the road is challenge enough at the moment. Jari sets the identical time to the rally leader.
Yeah, I tried to keep going, but it's very, very difficult, to be honest. I didn't enjoy at all on that stage. There was aquaplaning in many places, and you were like, is it gonna stop? Is it gonna stop? Oh, it's stopping, yeah, oh yes.
One battle that is still to be resolved is for 4th, and it's Thierry Neuville who's made the first move, perhaps with slightly less surface water to clear with 5 cars ahead on the road. It's not far from the finish boards now. With a time around 10 minutes and 12 seconds, he could get past Danny Sordo here. Yes, a stage win for Thierry, and he moves up to 5th. Behind that tense fight for 4th, meanwhile, Evgeny Novikov and Ilka Minor are looking safe in 8th place.
Left one gas.
What about speed?
I don't have 200 straight.
Oh, but he's off at the same corner. that caught out Loeb even wider though, and off into the corn. The Russian surviving one of a number of scares in France there, but his Fiesta carrying some extra ballast by the end of the stage. Well, after that rather soggy start to the final day in France, Loeb's lead has been trimmed again, and Neuville is on the move. Conditions showing no sign of improving, but Seb's loyal supporters braving the weather. After a strong display so far in these soaking roads, Mads Osberg remains in 4th place, but he can't afford to ease up. These slippery conditions should suit the Scandinavian driving style, but he doesn't look confident here. And with Neuville and Sordo just 2.7 seconds behind, that 4th place could be under threat here. Danny Sordo has just lost 5th place to Neuville, but he's been hampered by handbrake problems, which couldn't have come at a worse time as he fights to get back on the pace. And just look how much standing water there is here. Incredible car control from the Spaniard. With Evgeny Novikov again now, thankfully recovered from his brush through the cornfield. Oh, but he's off again, and that is a big accident. Huge front end damage to the Fiesta as he struggles to get it back on the road. Well, WRC car or not, they aren't designed to put the power down on wet grass, and finding his way back on the stage is proving difficult for the Russian. He does finally make it back onto the stage, but that is a heavily damaged Fiesta, and then he hopes he had a threatening 7th place surely over now. And let's cross down to stage 19, the short 5-kilometre blast around the town of Haguenau. Famous, of course, for its favourite son, Sébastien Loeb, who grew up here. And there is more bad news for Danny Sordo. He is way off the pace. This time, it's power steering failure.
A few meters before the stage, I feel the steering really heavy. And in the start line, I feel it's gone, and I do all the stage really slow, because and also we have with soft tires, it's more difficult. I don't know, I can't do this like this at 2 stages, no, but I will try to try to do something, but it's no chance.
Heartbreak for the Spaniard, and with no service today, it could be game over too, as he's already slipped down to 6th place with Mads Osberg up to 5th. Out front, Latvala continues to edge closer to Loeb, but is it too little too late? Meanwhile, in Haguenau, they are preparing once again to honour their most famous son. There's already a museum in the town, a shrine to Loeb's exploits over the past decade. His world title winning cars all on show.
We're all very proud of Sébastien, what he does every year, the whole career he's in is just fantastic, and I think everybody in town is very proud of that. We have a lot of things going on, but we have especially had the pleasure of having a sculpture done about him. It will be as tall as he is, so it is really something new. It's made of wood because Haguenau is in a big forest. It's actually one of our characteristics, and we wanted to have Sébastien with us permanently on a piece of wood.
Sébastien Loeb then about to be immortalised in wood by the people of Haguenau. Well, the real thing goes for glory. As we cross now to stage 20, being run as the power stage this weekend. And Ott Tänak is already into action. His 7th place under less pressure following his teammate Novikov's exploits. The Estonian putting in a flyer here in his M Sport run Fiesta RS. Difficult conditions out there, and Ott is revelling. Approaching the end of the stage now, and it is a good effort through here for Ott. Neuville is also into this narrow stage, and he has been flying in the damp conditions today. Let's see what he can do now it's dry. He's taken every single stage win so far today, but is a fraction slower than Tänak. Norway's Mads Osberg is the first of the big hitters now. But with conditions drying out and the car set up for the wet, we can expect stage times to get slower. And that's exactly what happens to Mads, but he is 3rd quickest to claim 1 extra bonus point. So confirmation there of an unlikely top 3 in the power stage. Ott Tänak claiming his first ever win in that category. Moving back to the rally proper though, and Sebastian Loeb could be moments away from producing the crowning glory in what's already been a record-breaking career. He's just 2 stages away from his date with destiny. And Thierry Neuville has been the driver of this final day. Winner of the first stage of the weekend, remember, and he's finished just as strongly, defying the treacherous conditions. Citroën's young Belgian star has stormed through to 4th place. He's had his moments this season, but finally produced a result of note. 4th would be Thierry's best ever finish in the WRC. Mads Osberg is still a work in progress on tarmac events, but this has been a fine display from the Norwegian privateer as well. It's looking like he might have run out of time to catch Neuville, but these are 2 stars of the future. Back to the current top dog, and with Loeb announcing before his home event that this will be his last full season in the WRC, we should savour these moments. All that remains is a blast through Loeb's hometown Haguenau. Unsurprisingly, it is filled to the rafters with thousands come to honour another moment of French sporting history. What can we say about this man that hasn't been said before? His record of 74 victories from 149 rallies already equates to just under 50% of his WRC starts. It is a quite phenomenal record. Tense moments back at Rally HQ as well for the Citroën team, as Loeb throws the DS3 around the streets of his hometown in front of his feverish fans. With win number 75, it means championship number 9 for Seb and Daniel Elena in consecutive years. An emotional moment for the team, for both driver and co-driver. It's a record that may never be matched in world motorsport.
Sebastian Loeb, it probably doesn't get any more special. 9 times World Rally Champion and in your home ground again.
Yes, it's incredible. We were dreaming about this moment again at the start of the rally, because we lived this 2 years ago, and now we are here again with a victory, a rally victory, championship again. So it's really incredible. All these people is wonderful.
And there is confirmation that Loeb takes his second victory here in the Alsace on home soil and in front of his adoring fans. His eventual winning margin 15.5 seconds from Latvala. Hirvonen closed out the top 3 with Thierry Neuville, the best of the rest, in 4th. But it's all about that man Loeb. What an atmosphere back at the Citroën HQ. Not forgetting, of course, they've done the double, retaining the manufacturer's title too.
I'm for sure very proud. It's for me the first year as team principal, and now we are champions. 2 rallies before the end. It's the proof that everybody did a great job, the drivers and all the team. And yeah, it's a very special sensation today for me and for all the team.
And here is confirmation of Loeb's latest championship victory with an unassailable lead of 71 points over his teammate Hirvonen. It's championship number 9 for Loeb. Latvala moves up to 3rd following his fine 2nd place finish. And with their unassailable lead over Ford, Citroën Total also retain the manufacturer's title as well. Quite some finish to the weekend. They've done the double, and done the double on home soil. Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena spray the winner's champagne at the Zenith in front of 6,500 fans. A 75th win in what's been a glittering career. Most astounding of all, he and Elena spray it for the 9th time in celebration of a Drivers' Championship, as they did 2 years ago in front of their home fans. It's been quite some career, and he's quite some champion. Let's leave it to those who know Sebastian best to have the final word.
He's always been the benchmark to try to fight against and try to beat.
Yeah, he is the best man in the rallying history. There is no doubt on that.
He's the best driver that's ever been in World Rally Championship, and certainly there's nobody in my lifetime that's going to overtake his record. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, he's just the complete package for sure. Always very calm, he takes it easy and no pressure at all, and maybe that's an advantage.
Oh, he's unicum for sure, yeah.
There's no one near him. He's just the best driver that's ever been in the world, and I think he will be for a long time.